Sudan is the largest country in Africa geographically. It is the size of the United States east of the Mississippi River. It's the size of Western Europe. 2% of the land surface of the world. It's vast, absolutely vast. It's relatively thinly populated, but it has enormous resources, particularly in the south. It has been at war since the day it became independent from Great Britain and Egypt in January 1st of 1956. There have been 2 civil wars in which 4 million people have died, unnatural deaths, either through disease or starvation or being massacred. And 4 million people died just in the 2 southern civil wars. The number of people who have died in Darfur since the rebellion started there in 2003 is about 300,000 people. The Southerners would say to me, Andrew, how come no one organized a big effort in the United States to stop the war in the South, but they tried to stop it in Darfur? They let us, 4 million of us, die and no one said anything, and now we're Darfur. And I said, it's a matter of time. Over time, the understanding of what's going on has been built up, and now people understand the tragedy that is Sudan. Sudan has, through these, it was colonized by Egypt and Great Britain in the 19th century, but Britain and Turkey invaded in 1821 and colonized and made part of the Turkish Empire, which Egypt was also part of. And the leader, the ruler of Egypt at the time, Muhammad Ali, was an Albanian, interestingly enough. So they had an Albanian governor or viceroy in Egypt in the Turkish Empire, the Ottoman Turkish Empire. So it was a very interesting mix. And he sent his son down to take control of Sudan, which was governed by traditional kings and sultans at that time, but was not a unified country. And the oppressiveness of the Egyptian-Turkish rule was so severe there was a revolt, and the tribes of Sudan that revolted massacred the leadership of the Egyptian army and killed the viceroy's son. And then the retaliation was absolutely massive. So they suppressed any further dissent by basically killing them, or a large number of people. And that kept rebellions under control until the late 19th century. Britain and Egypt ran Sudan as virtually a colony for the first half of the 20th century. I'm not going to go through the whole history. My book is mostly about 80% of the book is about the last 30 years of Sudanese history since the Second Civil War started in 1983, led by Dr. John Garang, who was a Southerner, a Dinka, the largest tribe in the South, a lieutenant colonel in the Northern Army, and then got his PhD from Iowa State, and got his undergraduate degree from Grinnell College in the Midwest. And he was an intellectual and military officer and a political figure, and a good friend of mine. I had him at my house for dinner. His widow, he died 6 weeks after the peace agreement was signed, and there was a joint government between the North and the South for a period of time. He was coming back from Uganda in a helicopter and crashed. The Southerners still believe it was a conspiracy to kill him. Every Southerner. No Southerner believes it was an accident. The evidence is that it was an accident. You can't tell anyone. Everybody's into conspiracy theories. We have spent, the United States has spent, and the Western Europeans, billions of dollars. I spent a lot of it myself as aid administrator. Your money, I might add, to keep people alive in these civil wars and to develop the country as well. Since the Civil War ended, there have been extensive development programs in agriculture and road building and education and health to build up the government of Southern Sudan so they can govern themselves.